always nice. Something about my job that I love is that it does not come home with you. So when I have days off, I don't think about my job at all. And it kind of makes it feel like when I do come back, I've been gone for longer than I have. But it's 10:39 right now, and I'll be leaving this hotel at 4:02, very specific, in the morning, and going back to Minneapolis. But I don't have to work the flight. I'll be a deadheading crew member, so I get to just be on board as a passenger and take a nice little nap. Tonight was interesting. This is a very long leanover as far as leanovers go. It was actually going to be originally like 8 hours between touchdown and takeoff. That got gobbled up just a little bit. We were just slightly delayed on departure. And then for a minute it looked like we might not even come here, because it is a very windy night in the skies over Fargo this evening. And before we even left, we knew that it was very likely going to be too windy, past the threshold for how windy it can be for us to land in the Boeing 739. And it was gonna clear up within like 3 hours. So I was thinking maybe it would just get canceled, but they decided to send us off. And it's a 222-mile, 41-minute flight. Very short. And we ended up in a holding pattern for about 15 minutes before we could descend, because the winds were still too strong for us to land. The runway that we were going to approach on positioned us such that the winds were like directly crosswind, and the limit for that is 32 knot winds, and they were consistently higher than that. And because it's such a short flight, such a short distance, the place that we would divert to if we can't go to Fargo is actually Minneapolis. So we were in a holding pattern. Maybe gonna go back to Minneapolis. And I guess our pilots were telling us that they were talking to the tower, and they were like, basically at one point, they were like, well, like, what do you need the winds to be? And they were like 32, and they were like, oh, wouldn't you know it, it's 32. Was it? No, I'm sure it was. But funny coincidence, for a brief window, we were clear to land, so we went ahead and landed, and it was pretty rough going but I've never had to divert before on any of my flights. So that was about to be my first time experiencing a diversion, but alas, we made it. I'm here in my hotel. There's like nobody working at the Fargo airport this late at night because it's such a small airport that it actually closes for a few hours in the middle of the night. It's not a 24/7 facility. So there's airport personnel, like when we have wheelchair passengers that we need to assist getting off the aircraft. Flight attendants can't leave the aircraft until everybody is off board. So there's airport personnel that handle assist passengers up the jet bridge. And we had several, but there was only one person working. But our pilots can step off board, so they helped. And then we had just a bunch of stuff post-landing to take care of that delayed us, in addition to like the 15 or so minutes that we added in flight. But it's still not bad to have 8 hours on a lean over. It's like really sweet, practically a layover at that point. I'm going into my final cluster of these. May was a very overnight lean over / turn heavy month for me, because if I want to fly high hours, that's a good way to do it. And having just come off of a long vacation, I definitely was prioritizing flying high hours throughout this month. So I am doing this stacked up again until I'll either be getting off Monday morning or Tuesday morning. I believe Monday morning. And then I have like one more trip for this month, but I believe it is like a standard domestic 3-day. And then for June, I'm going to be going to San Diego a lot because it is my birthday month and I have not been home in a long time, and the desperate need that is raging inside me to eat some tacos is overpowering pretty much all other functions that I'm useful for. So it's time. But I ended up asking for the 7th, the 6th, 7th, and 8th off so that I could go back to San Diego on the 7th for my actual birthday and have dinner with my family and see my friends. And they gave me those days off. And then I asked for the 26th, 25th, 26th, 27th off, I believe it is, because I'm gonna be going to H3's live show in LA, which I'm very excited about because it's always sold out before I could get a ticket for all their past live shows, but they're doing it at the Greek this time, and I've got a seat like way in the back, but I'm still excited to go. So I did get my days off request for those 2 chunks, and then I've been pretty burnt out of the nighttime nocturnal thing that I've been doing basically all May. So I put layover preference in my bid, which pretty much secures me to be on a regular schedule of like waking up and living the day during the daytime and sleeping at night. But I always forget because I am senior enough to hold trips to San Diego that if I don't put a limiter on it, if I don't say, give me San Diego layovers, but maximum 3, I'll get like nothing but San Diego. So my entire schedule next month is San Diego layovers. But it's kind of nice because we have the long San Diego seasonally, and I think it's already gone again. And by long, I mean full 24 hours. The one that we have right now is still long. I believe it's 19 hours. But that's just short enough that you'll fly part of day 1, and then half of your layover will be on day 1 of your trip, and the other half will be on day 2, and then you'll fly home still on day 2. So it's a 2-day rotation instead of the 3-day rotation that you get on the 24-hour San Diego, which means basically that you can just accomplish the same thing in fewer days, which means you have more room in your schedule for additional trips, more flying, more money, yada yada. But it's funny because I put in that request to have time off so that I could go to San Diego, and then I end up pretty much getting entire month of San Diego. So I think the trip that I have before I take my time off to go to San Diego is a San Diego trip, and then the trip immediately after is a San Diego trip, and I have a couple of chunks where it's just back-to-back San Diegos. I have like one random Radley, Connecticut lean over, I think it is, but I think that's my only lean over for the whole month. And then I think towards the end of the month I have another 3-day domestic, and I don't remember what it is, but at the very beginning of the month I start off the month of June with a 3-day domestic with layovers in San Francisco and New York City. And I'm so excited. I need to put New York on my preference because I could probably hold that. And I love New York. If I could live there, I would. Can't afford it, but I need to go there more often because I love it. And I bet you I could. I've just never thought to ask for it. But I love New York, and I just love it. And I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna take the bugging. I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna go around on the subway, and I'm gonna eat. I love that in New York and Chicago. Subway systems that I can understand. Easy for me to get around. And there are restaurants there that I love. There's a dumpling restaurant in Chicago that I love. I need to put Chicago on my bid sheet for July because I would love to go back to that restaurant. And I'm excited to go to New York because I saw on Instagram the reel about this Burmese restaurant, and I have never had Burmese food, so I'm excited to try something new. But they were interviewing the guy that owns the restaurant and asking him what dishes one should try if they come to his restaurant, and he mentioned a tea leaf salad where you actually consume tea leaves in the salad, which is so exciting to me because I know that there are culinary applications for tea. Like, hipster chefs have come up with the idea to brine something in tea, but I with my limited knowledge, do not know of many cultural applications where that's like part of a culture's cuisine. I know that there are tea eggs, which I believe is Taiwanese, but I've yet to have come across a dish where you actually consume the tea leaves. So when I get to New York, I am going to that Burmese restaurant and I'm going to eat tea leaf salad, and I cannot wait. And if my flight attendant friend from flight attendant training, who lives and is based in New York, is not working that day, then I'll see him, which is what I did the last time I was in New York. And I can go to Flushing and eat. I can just eat. And we stay in Times Square, so it feels very like, I just love New York. So I cannot wait for that layover. I cannot wait to eat that food. And I've not yet had like a long San Fran. All of my San Frans have been like lean over status at the short hotel. And I think this one's a long. So I'll be like actually in San Fran, which will be nice. But then I have just so much San Diego, which is great because I can choose to keep all of them. See my family a ton, see all of my friends, do a lot of hiking, eat tacos until my head explodes, or San Diego's are great coins to have, because if you're looking to trade trips or get trips dropped, people want San Diego, so you can do stuff if you've got San Diego on your line. So June is looking good for me. I'm excited. But I am also excited to eat my dinner tonight. My lovely crew meal of chicken and grain salad with sourdough crackers and a chocolate chip cookie. I'm gonna go take this lip situation off, and it's cold here. I got my blankie. I'm gonna eat my dinner and snuggle up, and then in the morning I get paid just to fly home. Oh, it's gonna be good. And then I work again tomorrow night, so I might see you tomorrow night, depending. But for now, I must say farewell. I hope that this ramble about nonsense was relaxing for you, and I hope I see you in the next